My name is Teresa Coleman, I'm 43 years old, and I was a registered nurse at City General Hospital. 3 months ago, I died for 17 minutes. And in those 17 minutes, Jesus Christ himself revealed 5 secrets that chosen ones must never share with the world. I need to tell you this because what happened to me wasn't an accident. God allowed me to die so I could bring back this message for his chosen ones. And if you're watching this, you're probably one of them. Before we start, please let me know where you're listening from. It will be nice to feel closer, even if we're physically apart. Also, don't forget to like and comment on what you thought about this near-death experience testimony. Let's have a fair and open discussion so we can learn from each other on this channel. Enjoy listening. I had been feeling unwell for weeks, severe abdominal pain that I kept dismissing as stress from working double shifts. When I finally went to the emergency room where I worked, they discovered I had a ruptured appendix with severe peritonitis. The infection had spread throughout my abdomen, and I needed immediate emergency surgery. What should have been straightforward turned into a nightmare when complications arose on the operating table. My blood pressure dropped, my heart stopped, and for 17 minutes, I was clinically dead. That's when my real story begins. The moment my heart stopped beating, I found myself standing in what I can only describe as the most beautiful place I had ever seen. It wasn't like the typical near-death experience stories you hear about tunnels and bright lights. I was simply there, in a place that felt more real than anything I had ever experienced on Earth. The ground beneath my feet was solid, the air was clean, and there was a warmth that penetrated every part of my being. Then I saw him. Jesus was walking toward me, and I knew immediately who he was. There was no doubt, no questioning. His presence was unmistakable. He wasn't glowing or floating, he looked like a man, but there was an authority and love radiating from him that made me fall to my knees. "Teresa," he said, and his voice was gentle but commanding. "It is not your time yet. But I have brought you here because you are one of my chosen ones, and there are things you must know before you return." I couldn't speak. I was overwhelmed by his presence, by the love I felt, and by the realization that I was actually dead but more alive than I had ever been. "Stand up, daughter," Jesus said, reaching out his hand to help me up. "We don't have long, and what I'm about to tell you will save not just your life, but the lives of many of my people. You will return to Earth, and you will share this message, but first you must understand these truths yourself." He began walking, and I walked beside him. The place around us seemed to shift and change, but I wasn't focused on the scenery. Every word he spoke was burning itself into my heart and mind. "Teresa, my chosen ones on Earth are under constant attack, but many don't realize they are making themselves vulnerable through their own words and actions. The enemy has limited power, but he uses what my people freely give him. Today, I will teach you 5 things that my chosen ones must never reveal to anyone, not carelessly, not for validation, not even for prayer requests unless guided by my spirit." Jesus stopped walking and turned to face me. "The first thing my chosen ones must guard is their future plans and dreams. Do you understand why, Teresa?" I shook my head, still in awe of being in his presence. "The enemy cannot read your future," he explained. "He is not omniscient like my father. He works from presumption, from intelligence gathering, from the loose words that flow from careless tongues. Every time one of my children announces their dreams and plans publicly, they give the enemy ammunition to sabotage what I have ordained." He gestured, and suddenly I could see scenes playing out before us like movies. I saw people excitedly posting on social media about business ideas, only to have them stolen or blocked. I saw individuals sharing their calling to ministry, only to face unexpected opposition from the very people they told. I saw dreams dying because they were exposed too early to the wrong people. "Remember Proverbs 29 verse 11, Jesus said. A fool utters all his mind, but a wise man keeps it in till afterwards." This is not just practical wisdom, Teresa, this is spiritual warfare strategy. He showed me the story of Mary, his mother. When the angel Gabriel visited Mary and told her she would carry the Messiah, she didn't immediately post it on the ancient equivalent of Facebook. She kept it in her heart. She pondered these things. She understood that some revelations need time to incubate in secret before they can safely be birthed into the world. But Jesus, I found my voice, Don't we need accountability? Don't we need people to pray with us? He smiled. Of course, daughter. I will always provide trusted confidants for my chosen ones, people who can pray in agreement and offer wise counsel. But these should be few, carefully selected, and bound by the Spirit to confidentiality. The problem comes when my people seek validation from the crowd instead of confirmation from me. Jesus began walking again, and more scenes appeared. I saw a young man who had received a prophetic word about starting a business. Instead of quietly preparing and seeking my guidance, he told everyone he knew. Within months, he faced lawsuits, competitors who stole his ideas, and financial attacks that delayed his vision for years. Dreams are like babies in the womb, Jesus explained. They need protection during their development. Expose them too early to the wrong environment, and they will not survive. The enemy studies the patterns of my people. He knows that those who talk much about their plans often lack the discipline to execute them. But more than that, every premature announcement gives him legal ground to interfere. What do you mean by legal ground? I asked. My Father's kingdom operates by laws, Teresa. When my people boast about things that haven't yet been established, they open doors for the enemy to challenge those things. Pride comes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Humility closes those doors. He showed me David, hiding in caves while still anointed to be king. David could have announced his anointing to everyone, but he waited on my Father's timing. This waiting period wasn't just for preparation, it was for protection. Had he announced his future kingship prematurely, Saul would have killed him immediately instead of just suspecting him. The chosen ones must learn the power of strategic silence, Jesus continued. Not secretiveness born from fear, but wisdom born from understanding spiritual dynamics. There is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Those who learn this balance will see their dreams come to pass with less opposition and greater impact. The second thing my chosen ones must guard is their family matters. This grieves my heart more than you know, Teresa. Suddenly, I was seeing scenes of marriages destroyed by social media posts, children embarrassed by parents who aired family business publicly, and relationships torn apart by people who couldn't keep private matters private. When I established the family unit, Jesus said, I intended it to be a safe haven, a place where people could be vulnerable and grow without judgment. But many of my chosen ones have turned their families into public spectacles. He showed me a woman posting about her husband's struggles with unemployment, not realizing she was humiliating him and opening their marriage to attack. I saw parents sharing their children's behavioral problems on Facebook, inviting judgment and gossip that followed those children for years. Proverbs 17 verse 9 says that whoever would foster love covers over an offense, Jesus reminded me. And 1 Peter 4 verse 8 teaches that above all, love covers a multitude of sins. But my people have forgotten that love protects, love covers, love handles matters privately first. But Jesus, what about when we need help? What about prayer requests? I asked. There is wisdom in seeking counsel, but there is foolishness in seeking attention through family drama, he replied. When my people truly need help, I will provide mature counselors who understand confidentiality. But most of the time, what they call prayer requests are actually requests for sympathy, validation, or allies in their conflicts. He showed me the story of Joseph and Mary again. When Mary was found to be with child, and Joseph was planning to divorce her quietly, imagine if Mary had run to everyone she knew to complain about Joseph's lack of faith. Instead, she handled the matter with discretion until my Father provided the angelic visitation that Joseph needed. Your family members need to know they can trust you with their weaknesses, Jesus continued. When children know their parents might post about their mistakes, they learn to hide instead of repent. When spouses know their partners might blast their failures on social media, they build walls instead of bridges. I saw families healed through private conversations, while others were destroyed through public exposure. The difference was stark. The enemy feeds on family division, Jesus explained. Every time one of my chosen ones exposes their family's problems carelessly, they give him legal ground to bring more division. But when they handle matters with love and discretion, they give me ground to bring healing and restoration. Remember, Teresa, as a chosen one, you are a priest in your home. Priests handle sacred things carefully. They don't expose what should be covered. They protect what should be protected. And they seek my face for wisdom on how to restore what is broken. The third secret my chosen ones must guard is their early victories and breakthroughs. This is where many promising ministries and businesses are destroyed before they can fully mature. I watched as scenes unfolded of people who had received early success, only to have it crumble after they celebrated too publicly, too soon. Proverbs 21 verse 5 teaches that the plans of the diligent lead to profit, but haste leads to poverty, Jesus said. When I bless my chosen ones with early victories, it's not a signal to alert the media, it's a test of their wisdom and humility. He showed me a young entrepreneur who had landed his first major client. Instead of quietly building on that success, he posted constantly about it, attracting competitors who stole his approach and clients who had unrealistic expectations. Within 6 months, his business had failed. Early breakthroughs are like seedlings, Jesus explained. They need time to develop strong root systems before they can withstand public scrutiny and spiritual attack. When my people announce victories prematurely, they invite opposition before they're equipped to handle it. But doesn't success come from God? Shouldn't we give Him glory? I asked. Of course you should give me glory, Jesus smiled. But true glory is given through results, not announcements. The most powerful testimonies come from established victories, not promises of what might happen. He showed me the story of King Saul's anointing. When Samuel anointed Saul as king, he told him to do whatever his hand found to do, for God was with him. He didn't say to announce it to everyone. It was a sacred secret that needed time to develop. Look at David, Jesus continued, showing me scenes of the young shepherd. After he killed Goliath, he didn't start a speaking tour about his victory. He quietly continued serving until I established his kingdom. Had he begun boasting immediately, his enemies would have united against him before he was ready. The enemy studies patterns, Teresa. He knows that those who celebrate victories prematurely often lack the character to sustain them. But more than that, premature celebration creates spiritual dynamics that work against long-term success. What kind of dynamics? I asked. Pride opens doors for opposition. Attention attracts envy. Publicity creates pressure. All of these forces can crush a breakthrough that would have thrived in secret until it was strong enough to withstand them. Jesus showed me successful business owners who had built their enterprises quietly over years before going public, contrasting them with those who sought publicity immediately and failed. Mysterious success confounds enemies, he said. When my chosen ones succeed quietly, their opponents don't know how to attack what they can't fully see. But when they broadcast every victory, they provide roadmaps for opposition. There will be time for public celebration later, Jesus assured me. But wisdom knows how to let success mature in secret before unveiling it to the world. This isn't hiding out of fear, it's stewarding blessings with wisdom. The fourth secret that grieves my heart is how my chosen ones handle their financial status. In this age of social media, many have fallen into the trap of using money as a measure of their worth. I was overwhelmed by the scenes he showed me, people flaunting wealth they couldn't afford, others going into debt to maintain appearances, and families destroyed by financial pride. Proverbs 13 verse 11 warns that dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow, Jesus said. True wealth is built through diligent private accumulation, not through public display. But Jesus, I said, isn't prosperity a blessing from you? Shouldn't people celebrate when you bless them financially? Prosperity is indeed a blessing, he replied, but when my people use it for show rather than stewardship, they transform a blessing into a curse. Look at what happens to those who flaunt their wealth. The scenes were heartbreaking. I saw families torn apart by lawsuits from relatives who felt entitled to shared wealth. I saw businesses destroyed by employees who stole because they resented their employers' displays of luxury. I saw marriages ruined by spending designed to impress others rather than serve the family's actual needs. When my chosen ones post about their expensive purchases, luxury vacations, and material possessions, they accomplish several things, Jesus explained. First, they shift their trust from me to their wealth. Second, they invite envy and attack from others. Third, they teach their children that worth comes from possessions rather than character. The wise understand that wealth multiplies through careful stewardship, not through public validation, he continued. They know that their security comes from me, not from impressing others with what they own. Jesus showed me families who had built generational wealth by living modestly while investing wisely, contrasting them with those who had lost everything trying to maintain expensive lifestyles for social media. Keep your financial information private, Jesus instructed. Don't announce your income, your savings, your investments, or your inheritances. These details invite manipulation, greed, and attack. Even family members can become adversaries when they know too much about your financial situation. But more importantly, he continued, don't use material possessions to define your identity or worth. Seek first my kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. But when you seek these things first, you lose both the kingdom and the possessions. True prosperity comes with quiet confidence, gratitude for what you have, and wisdom about what you share. Those who learn this principle will see their wealth multiply and their families protected. The fifth and most crucial secret, Teresa, is your spiritual encounters, the dreams, visions, prophecies, and divine revelations I give to my chosen ones. This is the most important because it affects not just your earthly success, but your spiritual authority and intimacy with me, he continued. I saw scenes of people casually sharing profound spiritual experiences as entertainment, reducing holy encounters to impressive stories for church services or social media posts. When I visited my mother Mary to announce her pregnancy, it was a sacred secret, Jesus explained. She didn't immediately run to tell everyone what had happened. She pondered these things in her heart until the proper time for revelation came. When John heard the 7 thunders in Revelation 10, he was specifically instructed not to write them down. When Paul was caught up to the 3rd heaven in 2 Corinthians 12, he heard inexpressible things that he said no one is permitted to tell. Why is this so important? I asked. Because spiritual revelations are like babies in the womb, Jesus replied. They need time to develop in the secret place before they can survive in public. When my people share profound encounters casually, several things happen. First, they reduce holy mysteries to common conversation. What was meant to transform them becomes just another story to tell. Second, they open themselves to skepticism and attack at a time when their faith in the experience is still developing. Third, they often share revelations that were meant only for them, violating the intimacy I intended. Jesus showed me people who had received powerful visions but lost their impact by sharing them carelessly. He contrasted them with those who had stewarded their encounters carefully, allowing them to mature into life-changing experiences. Not every revelation is meant for public consumption, he explained. Some are for your personal growth. Some are for your family. Some are for your local church. And yes, some are for the world, but I will make it clear when and how to share them. The problem comes when my chosen ones seek validation for their spiritual experiences through public sharing. They turn sacred encounters into performance pieces, and in doing so, they lose their power. Remember, daughter, that your relationship with me is the most precious thing you possess. Guard it carefully. Don't cheapen it by turning every encounter into public testimony. Learn to be a secret keeper, a steward of mysteries, a protector of holy things. There will be times when I specifically tell you to share what you've experienced. But until then, let these encounters transform you privately. Let them deepen your faith, increase your intimacy with me, and prepare you for the assignments I have for you. As our time together was drawing to a close, Jesus took my hands and looked directly into my eyes. Teresa, what I've shared with you today isn't about being secretive or dishonest. It's about being wise. There is immense power in strategic silence. When my chosen ones learn to guard these 5 areas, their future plans, family matters, early victories, financial status, and spiritual encounters, they position themselves for greater success and protection. They become unpredictable to their enemies and trustworthy to their allies. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates power. When people can't figure you out completely, they can't manipulate or attack you as easily. But more than that, when you learn to handle sacred things carefully, I can trust you with greater revelations and responsibilities. The world teaches people to share everything, to be transparent about every detail of their lives. But my kingdom operates differently. We understand that some things are meant to be private, some victories are meant to be quiet, and some encounters are meant to be secret. This doesn't mean living in fear or isolation, Jesus clarified. It means living with wisdom. It means understanding that your words have power and your revelations have purpose. It means being a good steward of what I've entrusted to you. When you return to earth, you will share this message with many people. But notice that even in sharing these principles, you won't be sharing your personal details in these areas. You'll teach the principles without violating them. Suddenly, I could feel my spirit being pulled away from that beautiful place. Jesus was still holding my hands, but I could sense our time was ending. Remember everything I've told you, he said urgently. The enemy will try to make you doubt this experience, but you will have confirmation. Your surgical team will tell you that you were dead for 17 minutes. Use this as proof that what you experienced was real. Share this message with my chosen ones. Too many of them are destroying their own destinies through careless words and premature revelations. Teach them the power of sacred silence. The last thing I remember before returning to my body was Jesus saying, "There is safety in silence, power in mystery, and blessing in wisdom. Go and teach my people these truths." I woke up in the ICU with my husband crying beside my bed. The doctors told me later that I had been clinically dead for 17 minutes, exactly as Jesus had told me. They said it was a miracle that I survived with no brain damage or complications. But I knew the real miracle was what I had learned during those 17 minutes. I had been given a message that would change not just my life, but the lives of everyone who would hear it. In the 3 months since my experience, I've shared this message with hundreds of people, and the results have been incredible. People who learn to guard these 5 areas have seen their businesses prosper, their families heal, and their ministries flourish. They've learned that there really is power in strategic silence. The enemy has limited access to your future, but you can give him unlimited access through careless words. Your family can be a source of strength, but only if you protect it from unnecessary exposure. Your victories can multiply, but only if you let them mature before announcing them. Your finances can be a blessing, but only if you steward them with wisdom rather than pride. And your spiritual encounters can transform you, but only if you treasure them properly. Jesus told me these things because he loves his chosen ones and wants to see them succeed. But success requires wisdom, and wisdom includes knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. I pray that everyone who hears this message will take it to heart and begin applying these principles immediately. Your future depends on it, your family depends on it, and your destiny depends on it. There is safety in silence, power in mystery, and blessing in wisdom. Learn to guard these 5 secrets, and watch how God transforms your life in ways you never imagined possible.